The Peacock and the Mystery of the Magical Feathers. Once upon a time, in a faraway magical kingdom, there lived a beautiful peacock named Scarlett. Scarlett was unusually vain, so she spent her days admiring her reflection in the waters of Mirror Pond and preening her brilliant feathers. "Look at me," Scarlett called to all the passers-by, "aren't my feathers splendid?" The other creatures were so taken aback by the peacock's beauty they couldn't help but agree. Every morning, the other animals gathered in the pond to marvel at Scarlett's exquisiteness. Soon, the other animals began requesting her to share a few of her feathers so they could enjoy the same glory. Scarlett thought this was a marvelous idea, as she loved to be admired, and of course, she also loved collecting adoring fans. With great excitement, she waved her beautiful tail and thought of something that would make her even more special. She quickly came up with a plan, something only Scarlett the peacock could do. She whispered a magical phrase, then raised her wings and sent dust from her feathers into the air. Instantly, hundreds of magical feathers began raining down on Mirror Pond and its lush surroundings. As they landed on the pond's surface, they began to shimmer and sparkle in the sun. The other animals couldn't believe their eyes. They were so amazed at the beauty of the feathers that they immediately began collecting the magical feathers and using them for all kinds of things. Now, the animals in the kingdom had something new to talk about. Everyone was curious about who was behind these miraculous feathers, but even Scarlett didn't know the answer. In order to solve the mystery, Scarlett asked the help of her best friend, a wise old owl named Poppy. Poppy decided to find out more about the magical feathers and asked her friends from the forest and the sky if they had any clues. The owl eventually heard about a mysterious lake far away, at the edge of the forest, surrounded by ancient trees. Poppy thought this might be the right place to find the source of the magical feathers, and she asked Scarlett to accompany her on a journey to the lake. The two set off and eventually, they arrived at the lake. When they reached the shore, they were greeted by a beautiful swan who was the guardian of the lake. She told them that the lake was home to some magical creatures, the mermaids. The swan said that the mermaids had special gifts, which they could give to people who asked them for help. She also said that the mermaids had the power to create magical feathers, which could bring happiness and protection to anyone who possessed one. Poppy and Scarlett thanked the swan and decided to dive into the lake in search of the mermaids. They searched for hours in the deep waters, but found nothing, until suddenly, Scarlett spotted something glittering in the distance. It was a beautiful mermaid with flowing golden hair, carrying a sack of sparkling feathers. The mermaid greeted Scarlett and Poppy and revealed that she was the one who had created the magical feathers. The mermaid explained that she was trying to bring peace and harmony to the kingdom and that the magical feathers were her way to spread joy and protection. She also said that anyone who was lucky enough to obtain a feather would experience amazing things. Scarlett and Poppy thanked the mermaid for her kind gift of the feathers, and she in turn thanked them for saving her from the vicious sea creatures who had been chasing her. She quickly handed Scarlett the sack of feathers, and before they knew it, Scarlett and Poppy were back at Mirror Pond. When they arrived, they were surprised to find that the magical feathers had already begun to take effect. The pond was filled with laughter and joy as everyone marveled at the beauty and power of the feathers. Thanks to the help of Scarlett and Poppy, the magical feathers spread their magic throughout the kingdom. From that day on, all the animals in the kingdom had an extra bit of joy and protection, thanks to the peacock and the mystery of the magical feathers. The end.